World Series taking a little bit of time off, I guess, to garner that hype. And let me ask you this question, Joe Ranier, as we talk here on a Wednesday hump day radio on the SportsGrid Network. Do we like the off time? Or do we figure that we should have a floating date when we start championships? Because correct me if I'm wrong, was it the NBA last year that took like 6 or 7 days off before their first game here, completely killing the momentum? Like, I don't need it the next day. I don't even need it 2 days. But if we end the series, let's just say over the weekend, like, I got to have my action here within 3 to 4 days here, Joe. I don't like the wait, to be honest. Are you okay with the wait and understand it? Or should this not be a static date that they put in regardless of when the two teams finish up?
Listen, I don't mind it. It gives you time to exhale a little bit, Donnie,
Yeah.
breathe, enjoy some of the finer things here, because once
Mm.
it starts, it's going to be nonstop. You and I both know that it's going to be all consuming.
All consuming starting Friday night, 8 p.m. from Toronto. That's the Dodgers and the Toronto Blue Jays here. The opening line, Joe, at least in FanDuel, is minus 148 price. Now we're seeing this price point in the mid 150s, depending on where you're shopping at. I have DraftKings 157, BetMGM 150, Bet365 150 here. And a total, that's 7.5 across the board. We don't know who the Blue Jays are sending out as game one starter, but Blake Snell, who's been absolutely filthy, on full rest, will be the starter for the Dodgers in game number one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's the way this is shaped up and turned out. And we knew that the Dodgers were going to be able to set up their rotation any which way they want. And quite honestly, it's not like they can go wrong with whoever they decide to throw out there in these two away games. But I think we've all come to the realization that if there is one team, and these were, by the way, both teams had top five offenses during the regular season. And when you're a Blue Jays team that hits nearly 300 in the postseason and cuts down on their strikeouts, they're going to put a lot of balls in play. Milwaukee couldn't do that. I think the Blue Jays have a legit shot here. I think the big advantage for the Dodgers, we know, is starting pitching. So can that lineup get to the starting pitching and crack the Rubik's Cube? If they can, this is going to be a fun series here, Donnie.
Yeah, maybe Bichette sneaks back into that lineup. It's a very good hitting lineup for Toronto. And sometimes, Joe, we talk about, ebbs and flows and, coming back to the mean at this point, attrition, whatever you want to call it. You can't be this good as a starting pitching staff all the way through. Because understand this, you might have a pretty good stretch in the summer because you played 3 straight really bad organizations that don't really have much at the play. Like, we just lined up against, I don't know, the White Sox, and then we played the Pittsburgh Pirates, and we dominated. Our starting staff was fantastic. Sooner than later, that good talent in your hitting lineup is going to catch up. Like, I don't think anybody's anticipation is, by the way, the Dodgers sweep this series and they gave up 1 run on average games 1 through 4 and only 6 combined hits in those 4 games. Like, sooner than later, something has to give. And sometimes it's just maybe the break of the momentum where in baseball, you are creatures of habit. You want to play every day. You want to be on your normal 4 to 5 day shift here as a starting pitcher in the bullpen. You get the picture at this point. So I look at it saying, it's a 7-game series. It's not a must win for either team in games 1 necessarily, or even games number 2. We just found that out in the ALCS where games 1 and 2 went to Seattle, but who won that series? It was Toronto. Talk to me, Joe, about game number 1. It feels like if you're Toronto, you got to ambush Snell. You can't let him get into a rhythm. You got to be swinging. If that I want to take a pitch to get the game going. No, if that ball's over the plate, you got to wail away.
Yeah, you absolutely have to. And the interesting part about both these teams is that they both had issues on the road this year. They were much better at home hitting the ball than they were on the road. Now, the Dodgers didn't exactly crush the ball in that Brewers series either. They did just enough, Donnie, to be able to get the job done there against Milwaukee because, they knew Milwaukee couldn't generate any runs. That is not going to be the case here, I think, with the Toronto Blue Jays. They have to cut down on the strikeouts, and they have to put balls in play and make the Dodgers play some defense. If they can do that, I absolutely think they have a shot to win at least one of the first 2 games at home.
We need some mushes here to get in here to try to help this series out. And you got one already. That's Skip Bayless. Congratulations, he tweets, to the Toronto Blue Jays for winning the right to lose the World Series to the Los Angeles Dodgers. You know what else we need to see next? An account from a tweet from Stake that goes, Drake just put $1 million on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Even though we know he loves Toronto here, it looks like you got one guy trying to mush him. We need a couple more mushes to get a good series here, Joe.
Yeah, no, we do here. But to me, this is all going to be about holding serve. If I'm the Blue Jays, I need to win my games at home because it's a different animal on the road. So hopefully they get at least game 1 or game 2 here and go from there.
It's a 2-3-2 as we know it. We just saw that in the ALCS. Well, hey, they can lose their first 2 games and still win the series like they just did. You don't want to make a habit of going down 0-2 in a 7-game series and trying to come back. Dodgers, Toronto, Friday night. It's all going down. We'll be right back for hour number 2 of the early line.